2, 1. Hey guys, we're back. We are in the top 4 of our Eye of Winter Classic. 61 players entered. I think 53 made it through check-in, and 4 yet remain. A single copy of Shimmer Pack remains, and 4 other archetypes: Rakano, Xenon, Elasian, and Combray. No Feln. Feln is the only one not making an appearance, alongside Stone Scar, I suppose, if we count Xenon as an enemy archetype. We've talked to death about aReNGee's innovative deck that he's playing on here, so we'll just take a quick look at Jelomoose's Rakano deck to confirm that, yes, this is a Rakano deck, while our players get into it. Any comments that we want to make about this one before we hop in? Maybe about the matchup against Elasian midrange in general?
Yeah, this is interesting because this deck has way more answers to false prints than the rest of the field has in terms of Torch answers false prints. Vanquish only shrinks it. It does still line up well against, at least as a blocker. You can't really do the neat trick of, I don't know. False prints is a really interesting card in this match.
Finest Hour you can use.
Yeah, Finest Hour. There's some weird stuff going on here, right? It'll be interesting to see. I mean, we didn't really see much of false prints in the last match anyways. It's only 4 cards, but I mean, yeah, Elasian midrange has traditionally been very good against Rakano. Now, this is not traditional Elasian midrange where it's playing a bunch of Cersos and Carnosaurs. So it's not going to have quite the easy matchup that traditional midrange has had. Stuff like the main deck Crystallize is negative here rather than a boon as it was in the last match.
No, not so many permafrost to slow down the early units, so we'll have to see how it goes. But generally, if Rakano can't get rolling, it'll stumble and run into the Great Wall of Sandstorm Titan.
Yep. So let's get to the game. Let's get to the match. No point talking about it. We've seen these decks. Let's just get the cards on the table. I think they're waiting still to challenge. Somebody tell them.
I'll poke Jello
ready
directly.
For action.
Go. Sorry, guys. We're trying to get you through this as fast as possible. It's been a 7-hour stream, and we're almost at the end. We're going to find out our grand winner very soon. All right. Jelomoose is discovering the meaning of the word go 50 times. It does, in fact, mean start.
Yeah.
So this is actually an excellent time to mention that Jelomoose sponsored this event, has submitted most of the prizing that you've got here, and is now trying to win it all back. I'm not exactly sure how sporting it is, but you can be sure that all the tournament results are going to be up on his website, EternalDeck.cards, which you should definitely check out as it's a fantastic resource. And I'm sure that he would also want you to know that the tournament results are also going to be on my own website, aReNGee Eternal, which is an even better resource that you should check out. We had some time, so I figured I'd do a bit of salesmanship.
Hey, yeah, no problem with that. I guess I could mention I have a stream and it's kind of cool. But let's talk about this game instead.
All right, we're getting into it. And our stream is all over the place.
We've got Jelomoose versus aReNGee and playing Eternal. Oh boy. So let's see here. aReNGee is a hand with a lot of power, and none of it is primal.
No blue. So
no primal to be seen. Where?
So it occurs to me that this guy's not Jelomoose, and we're looking at aReNGee's hand twice. For either production staff, they're terrible.
I was going to say, I can't get Jelomoose. I don't see him. So we're just watching this from one side right now. That's okay. We'll have the mystery of what's going on in Jelomoose's. In the meantime, aReNGee, we'll pretend we're aReNGee, and we're just playing the spells we can cast and praying that we find a primal source. And in the meantime, going to try and beat the hell out of Jelomoose and hope that they don't.
All right.
That's all for. Maybe we were too excited to get into this game and forgot about the whole thing.
Potentially. I'm hopeful that Jelomoose clicks the accept button and we can get into it. All right. Sorry, guys. We had a bit of a miscommunication. Me and John almost continue to not be on the same page, as when I say that we're going to watch the stream, he thinks that means we're watching the other guy.
Yeah. I don't even see him on. Oh, there we go. Anyways.
All right.
So, yeah, Jelamoose is paused because aReNGee is bothering him in the middle of a game.
How rude. Trying to get his stuff up on screen.
Hitting A in space.
Interestingly, here's one of the places where the what's it called, the friendly wisp is pretty good against that little familiar.
Oh! Diplomatic Seal with the ultimate tease cannot produce a primal source here. It's at least undepleted power, but oh boy, there's a lot of upside to playing Diplomatic Seal, but that downside just real bad.
Oh boy, we might be seeing a plated up familiar very shortly, and
Oh.
I don't like that attack. I guess that attack's okay since you're just trying to get the Warcry triggers.
Yeah, if I'm Valor J, I'd probably throw some extra units in front of there. And yeah, this game is not looking good for our valiant hero.
My kingdom for a primal sigil.
So so Jelamoose really has a plate and a power in hand, and that's about to happen, and this game's about to be over. Is that what's about to go on here?
Well,
That's a sigil. Still can't. I'm still in the blind on Jelamoose.
the problem with this plan is even
Yeah.
just trying. He needs to draw a primal sigil, but then he's got an Aegis up unit to deal with, so the single permafrost
Yeah.
isn't enough.
This is very over.
And he doesn't have the time to deploy the scouting party, so Valor J is
This is very over.
gonna go down in defeat on this one.
Okay. So game two, we will have full coverage. I think we can make that.
Well, we're seeing this one. You may not be. And we get to see Rakano punish a stumbling draw very quickly. If this didn't go the distance, though, Jelmus didn't really have anything else in hand, so he's pretty
Okay.
lucky that he was able to establish that against Valor J in the time that he did. Let's take a quick look at Jelomoose's sideboard since we've seen Valor J's sideboard plan. He's got a lot of Relicate going on. The two Furnace Mages, the three Ruins, a bunch of Protects, which I imagine probably won't be coming in. There's not that much spot removal, just the few Permafrosts, and an extra Vanquish, which probably will. So, Rakano never really sideboards all that much. It's always just trying to tune itself to whatever it's playing against. And I imagine we'll see a bit of tuning there, and he'll get right back into it.
So confused. Somehow Jelamoose isn't even on my friends. All right, so we're fixing that. Didn't we watch them play earlier? I'm so confused. I literally watched it.
I don't want to tell you that it's that Jellomoose doesn't want to be friends with you, so I'm just going to say that he's still on my friends list, and I don't know what you're talking about.
I quit. I'm gone. I'm out. All right, so they're doing the sideboard thing, and I can't say anything interesting. There we go. Nope, I just said there we go.
You hoped it were true. All right. Well, they're going through sideboarding here. I will take a look at Valor J's sideboard to see what he can do to fight back against the Rakano Menace. He's got another copy of Permafrost, which I imagine will come in. Lightning Storms are interesting. They're kind of give and take. They can take out some of the small units and the Aegis, but they don't help too much about the big ones, and they sweep away your blockers, which could be an issue. So whether or not he brings them in decides or it determines how he wants to play the game. Teleport's pretty good against Rakano. The Scorpion Wasp is pretty good against Rakano as well, since only Torch can really protect them. Finest Hour and Protect can't. So
and they're quick draw units.
yes,
Yes, it's a very good answer against the Aegis units with weapons, right? Very nice answer there.
So he has a few cards to bring in, but
visual and Jelamoose.
They're taking a long time to sideboard. I don't see any Ruins coming in. I see that Jello Moose has mixed premium Silverwing Familiars with regular Silverwing Familiars, an unpardonable offense. The
I don't
Furnace
even
Mage,
like premium Silverwing Familiar that much, honestly. So
no, it
it's
doesn't look
just not
that
that
good.
good. Not that good.
Furnace Mages are in, but he hasn't gone all the way to the 1-for-1 Ruins for the big blowout,
Oh,
which
protect.
makes sense.
Cutting Oni runs. Whoa. Some extreme things going on here. Furnace Mage is in. So he's going a bit bigger mid range.
He's got a game plan, or at least is
The
trying
game
one
plan
out.
is beat them with Silver incessantly. Make sure you have removal for the dumb large Sandstorm Titan that will ground your Silverwing.
Yeah, there's 4 Vanquishes.
Yeah,
As
this plan is beat them in the skies and protect that plan at all costs.
I guess I can just transition and we can watch him. Figured you were.
Looks like the players are just about ready for this game, I think. Mm-hmm. So Jello Moose is currently up 1 game. So he's hoping to close it, and Valor J is hoping to rally from the abyss and get 2 straight wins.
Yeah, I'm.
Loser leaves town, right?
This is the 4th place match essentially, not because the winner gets 4th place, but because the loser is unfortunately eliminated in 4th and doesn't make it to any of the round of 5. Every match after this game will be a best of 5, I believe. As we jump back to the winners bracket finals, the losers bracket finals, and the grand finals will all be best of 5.
Oh baby. Ooh, so Valor J's got a slow hand. Jellomoose does not have a slow hand.
Well,
Jellomoose plays the Justice Sigil instead of the Diplomatic Seal, but it doesn't really matter at all. He's got double both of his things. Can't really get punished. You're gonna unless he draws a seed.
so the real question here is interesting. A very
Yeah, that
early
polymorph.
polymorph. Do you just go for the sword and in? The sword of
Yeah,
Icaria.
I don't see why not.
Well,
Playing Enforcer here is not that good. You could play one of your 2 drops,
but
but
you'd
you
rather
just
play 2 of them the next
really
turn, right?
get and you are the Vanquish, so like you don't care if the Sandstorm Titan shows up here. You get to play a 2-drop and Vanquish and still hit with another sword. Like this is incredible, right?
Yeah, it was a little more interesting before Valor J played the polymorph, since there's all sorts of ambush units to play around.
Sure.
But yeah, it looks like Jelamoose is well on his way to just beating Face in.
Yep, Valor J gets to try and claw back onto the board, but the damage has already been done, right? Jellomoose has gotten so many war cries out of this.
Oh well, and he draws another Vanquish for that secondary Sandstorm Titan, and it's well, Valor J does have
This,
that scouting party, and we all know how powerful a card that is at stabilizing. It's possible that it
it's
is too late, but
yeah, they're chump
the
blockers
potential is
or
there.
something.
I think you go for the scouting party here.
And just more large units keep showing up. I just don't see how Valor J can draw a series of cards that actually recovers here, but it's going to draw a bunch of cards and try. That's for sure.
Mm, I'm trying to think of a crystallized line, but I think there might just be too much stuff in play out of Jello Moose for Valor J to claw his way back in. Um, Even if he
Think of like this.
drew and had the power to cast Shimmer Pack, it would be too small to stop all these enormous monsters. Um, and his hand is just, it's not giving him anything that's really good when he's this far behind. It looks like for this particular matchup, Jelamoose was able to stay on the aggressive against a somewhat, weak hand out of Valor J and just
Yeah,
ride the Warkite train.
this was not Jellamoose's sideboard plan that we went over. Where it was like, oh yeah, get a big flyer and protect that. And this was just my opponent didn't have a fast draw, and I did because I still have all these 2 drops of Warcry in my deck and
Just
beat
tumbled over
face
from
with
there.
them. Yeah, yeah. There were no flyers, there was no large weapons or anything like that. It was sort of Icaria was unchecked for 3 to 4 turns. That's an issue, right?
Yeah.
Jelamoose stuck on 4, but gets to also just play a nice little Silverwing familiar. Sandstorm Titan, sure, can be answered by either Valkyrie Enforcer or Vanquish. I guess Vanquish makes a little more sense because you can still play the out here and still swing with your ground dudes. And yeah, that gets the concession from Valor J. So Valor J finally taken down. Jelamoose continues to roll with Rakano.
So despite his fantastic lower bracket run, Valor GA ends here, and our final Shimmer Pack deck is out of the tournament. No Shimmer Pack decks make it to top 3.
Yep, card's bad.
I,
Shouldn't play it.
I don't know, guys.
Clearly.
It was the most represented, and it was also the most tuned against. But Rakano's not exactly a deck tuned to beat Shimmer Pack, and we saw it just sort of run it over there.
Yeah, sometimes that's the thing with Chrono. It can beat itself, but it can also beat anybody that stumbles ever. If you stumble against Rakano, you are going to get punished hard, real hard.
Versus Hythar, I believe. All right, so we're gonna go. We're down to our last 3 matches. As I said before, all of these are best of 3 or 5, best of 5. So there's gonna be a whole lot more action, but not a whole lot more people, and you're gonna see a whole lot of them in the next couple rounds. So we will be taking a quick break while we get those two in, and congratulate Jelamoose as he awaits the loser in the losers bracket finals for a spot in the grand finals.